Most people think they're failing. They think they're behind. They think they're lazy. They think they lack discipline. They don't realize something far more dangerous is happening. They're being conditioned, not aggressively, not violently, quietly, slowly, every day. From the moment you wake up, the system begins shaping your behavior. Your phone vibrates, your email fills, your calendar dictates your movement. Your bills decide your priorities. You don't choose your day chooses you. And over time, something subtle happens. Your goals get smaller, your standards drop, your tolerance for mediocrity rises. You start calling survival progress. This isn't accidental, it's training. You were never meant to escape easily. You were meant to adapt, because adapted people don't rebel, they cope, they optimize inside cages, they get really good at surviving systems that slowly drain them, and they call it adulthood. Let me explain something uncomfortable. The system doesn't need to crush you, it just needs to condition you. Condition you to accept delay, condition you to normalize exhaustion, condition you to believe that freedom comes later, after the raise, after the promotion, after the kids are grown, after the debt is gone. Later is the leash. Here's how it works. When you're young, you're told, work hard, play by the rules, stay consistent, be patient. Sounds reasonable. But notice what's missing. Nobody teaches leverage. Nobody teaches ownership. Nobody teaches asymmetric upside. You're taught effort, not control. You're taught obedience, not positioning. So you enter the workforce thinking, if I just try harder, things will change. But the system loves hard workers. Hard workers are predictable. Hard workers don't question architecture. They optimize execution. They become elite participants. And participants don't win systems. Owners do. The trap isn't work. The trap is linear effort inside an exponential world. You live in a leverage economy, but you were trained for an industrial one. In the industrial age, showing up was enough. In the digital age, showing up without ownership keeps you stuck. That's the mismatch. You're applying old rules to a new game. And every year you stay inside that mismatch, the conditioning deepens. You start saying things like, at least I have stability. I just need to be grateful. It could be worse. These are emotional sedatives. They don't heal you, they numb you. You stop dreaming in big numbers. You stop thinking in decades. You stop asking dangerous questions. Instead, you manage stress. You manage expectations. You manage decline. And the most terrifying part, you don't even notice it happening. Because conditioning doesn't feel violent. It feels normal. Let's talk about dopamine. Your phone trains you to crave micro rewards, likes, notifications, short videos, quick hits of novelty. Your nervous system gets rewired for stimulation instead of creation. So sitting quietly and building something long-term feels painful. Your brain now prefers consumption over construction. You scroll, you watch, you react, but you don't produce. This isn't a coincidence. A distracted population doesn't build leverage. A distracted population stays busy. Busy people don't rebel. They're tired, they're overwhelmed, they're always catching up, which means they never zoom out. And zooming out is where power lives. Think about this. If someone wanted to control a population, they wouldn't use force. They'd use comfort, they'd offer convenience, they'd provide endless entertainment, they'd make everything easy except escaping. And that's exactly what happened. Food became instant, content became infinite, opinions became loud, attention became fragmented. But ownership? Ownership became rare. You don't own your time, your calendar does. You don't own your income, your employer does. You don't own distribution, platforms do. So you rent your life hour by hour, year by year, and you're told this is normal. Here's the real reason most people never escape. It's not intelligence, it's not opportunity, it's identity. They see themselves as workers, not operators. They wait for permission. They seek validation. They optimize comfort. They don't build assets. They build resumes. They don't design systems. They follow instructions because no one ever taught them that control is the goal. Money isn't the goal. Control is. Control of your time, control of your attention, control of your output, control of your upside. Money is just a byproduct of control, but the system teaches you to chase money through labor, not control through leverage. That's the conditioning. You're rewarded for effort, not ownership. You get praise for being busy, not for being strategic. So you stay in motion, you stay productive, you stay exhausted, but you never become dangerous. Dangerous people don't grind. They design, they don't hustle, they build, they don't chase opportunities, they create them. And this is where the mental prison locks in. Because once you've been conditioned long enough, freedom feels unsafe, unstructured time makes you anxious, silence makes you restless. You need tasks, you need direction, you need something telling you what to do. That's dependency, not laziness. Dependency. You've been trained to need external structure, and when someone suggests stepping outside the system, your nervous system resists. Your body says that's risky, that's unrealistic, and that's too uncertain. That's not logic, that's conditioning speaking. Let me tell you a brutal truth. If you don't consciously build leverage, you will unconsciously accept limitation every time. Because systems always win against individuals who don't understand systems, always. Here's what leverage actually looks like. Leverage is content that works while you sleep. Leverage is skills that compound. Leverage is audiences you own. Leverage is products that scale. Leverage is distribution. Leverage is automation. Leverage is asymmetric bets where upside is uncapped. But none of this is taught in school, because schools train employees, not operators, so you graduate knowing how to follow instructions, but not how to architect freedom. And then adulthood finishes the job. Bills arrive. Responsibilities pile up. Energy drops. Risk tolerance collapses. Now you're fully conditioned. You don't need chains anymore. You self-regulate. You tell yourself, maybe someday. Someday is the graveyard of potential. Most people don't fail. They slowly surrender. They trade dreams for stability. They trade freedom for familiarity. They trade long-term power for short-term comfort. And the system applauds them for it. Promotions, titles, benefits, just enough reward to keep you inside, just enough pressure to stop you from leaving. Now here's the part nobody tells you. You don't break conditioning by motivation, you break it by architecture. You don't need more discipline, you need different systems. You don't need inspiration, you need positioning. You don't need hustle, you need leverage. Start small. Build something that exists outside your job, something that creates optionality, something that compounds, something you own. It doesn't have to be perfect, it just has to exist. Because the moment you create your first asset, something changes psychologically. You stop seeing yourself as a participant, you start seeing yourself as a builder. That identity shift is everything, then you stack. One asset becomes two, one skill becomes three, one audience becomes a funnel. You stop measuring success by hours worked. You measure it by systems built. That's how you exit conditioning. Not overnight, gradually, quietly, relentlessly, while everyone else scrolls, while everyone else complains, while everyone else waits for permission. And here's the most important part. You don't announce your escape, you execute silently. Because the system doesn't fight rebels, it absorbs noise. But builders disappear from its control quietly. No dramatic exit, no viral moment, just steady detachment. Income becomes diversified, time becomes flexible, options expand, and one day you realize you're no longer trapped. Not because you got rich, but because you got control. That's the real victory. Freedom isn't about doing nothing. It's about choosing what matters. It's about waking up without anxiety. It's about building instead of reacting. It's about designing your life instead of renting it. Most people never reach that point, not because they can't, but because they stay conditioned, they stay busy, they stay distracted, they stay inside loops. But you're watching this for a reason. Something in you already knows. The discomfort you feel isn't confusion. It's awareness waking up. That's dangerous. Because once you see the system, you can't unsee it. And once you see conditioning, you can't go back to pretending. So here's your move. Stop optimizing participation. Start building leverage. Stop chasing comfort. Start creating control. Stop waiting for permission. Start designing your exit. No rage, no panic, no fantasy timelines. Just calm execution. Every day, small moves, compounding direction. That's how you break conditioning. Not by fighting the system, by outgrowing it. If you want the exact framework I'm using to build leverage, audience, and income in parallel, I put it all inside the Money Logic playbook. Link is in the description. It shows you how to flip effort into assets, how to build asymmetric income, how to stop trading time for money, and how to quietly move from participant to operator. No hype, no fluff, just systems. You're not failing, you're being conditioned. Now you know.